Good morning, I'm Aline, I'm a jewelry designer, and today we're going to talk about a little bit of peek into my studio to see how I use some of my texturing hammers. Now, before we get started, just in case you were wondering, my studio is actually a garage that's been converted into a studio. We have heated it and air conditioned it and insulated it. So obviously you will see other stuff that's garage stuff hanging around. So anyway, just a little caveat so you know. Now, one of the ways I love to texture, and one of the ways I texture is by using hammers and actually hammering. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I just love the way it makes the metal move and the way it makes it look. I'm wearing a pendant here, and I'll get it up to you closer here in a little bit, but this just shows you some of the texturing that can be done and how it changes the whole look of the piece. I'm going to show you a couple hammers first, then we'll show you a couple things about how they look once they're hammered. Okay, cool. All right, we're down to the nitty-gritty here. The hammers that are textured all have some kind of a pattern in them, and depending on the quality of the hammer, some are better than others. This gives kind of a rounded look to it. This obviously has some lines to it. This is my all-time favorite one. This is one of the very first hammers I ever purchased. It has kind of a subtle feel to it. It's kind of almost gives it a linen-y look. That's the best way I can describe it. I really love this hammer, and I'll show you a couple in a minute. This is another one that has kind of a deeper spikes to it. And then the other side has rounded concentric circles. That makes something pretty cool too. This other one, now this one I mentioned the quality of the hammer. You can see this is not as good of a hammer because it's already, some of the pieces have already broken off. The steel isn't that good, but it did make a good pattern when it worked. This is the other side of it, which seems to have held up pretty well. And last but not least, my other absolute favorite one is this one with the squares on it. It really makes a cool pattern, and I'll show you in a minute. And then this is the same as the other, only it's just wider lines. So it gives just a little different feel to it. So now, that's that. Now I want to show you what they actually look like. I just have to put these hammers down so I can move this other up. So a little logistics, we'll get to it. All right, here are the other pieces. I'll move the camera back down again. You can see them. Now, I think you can see this one pretty well. This is that softer one I told you, the hammer that I've had forever that I love the most favorite. I did add some lines in there first, but then I textured it with this pattern. And oh my gosh, it just kind of gives it a subtle, pretty look to it. I think it adds so much. The other one is the squares that I talked about, and that's on this one. And you can kind of see the squares pretty easily. Again, it adds interest. It adds a little class, I think. And I also used the squares on this emerald and malachite ring. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I'm going to show you the back so you can see it's got the squares. I know that's hard to see from here. I want to show you more clearly on another piece. Let's see. This one right here, actually, this is one I did with the lines. This is really good. You can see this is a work in progress. Nothing's been done with it yet, but you can see how what the hammering did to it. And last but not least, here's another little one that shows the squares. Hopefully that'll give you a little better look. Let me back it up so you can see it better. Just to give you an idea. And the other thing I love about the texturing, besides of what I've already mentioned, is that you can do what we call the antiquing with it. And what that means is you blacken the piece of silver or copper, and then it fills in all black, and then you can shine up the light of the outside. And that's what these earrings are, and I'm going to show you a close-up so you can see. See how it's all black in the back, but then I've shined up these areas here. And oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So anyway, this is just a little peek into my studio. I'll be doing some more of these. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. You can subscribe up here. And you can also just like this video. That lets me know this is the kind of thing you're interested in. And then down here will be some of the others that I've done previously that you might be interested in. Thanks again for sharing your time with me. Bye.